Welcome everybody to How To Tuesday. I'm so glad that you are able to make it with us here live and in person, or watching it back on recording afterward. My name is Camille Abdel-Jawad. I am our Instruction and Outreach Librarian here at Park University. And as always, it's a pleasure to have you all here for How To Tuesday. If you're new here or if this is your first How To Tuesday, welcome. This is our monthly webinar series. We do it on a Tuesday every month, where we talk about quick tips or strategies to help you be successful in your research endeavors. Today, we are talking about citations made easy. And we are really excited about this because we know that a lot of our students and even our faculty can sometimes struggle with citation. There's a lot of rules, there's a lot of rigmarole sometimes you have to go through. And we know that our students, want to credit their sources, but they sometimes get lost in the weeds of how to do that appropriately. It changes, right? If you're doing MLA, if you're doing APA, it changes. So it's really important to have the tools in your toolbox, in your back pocket, that you can pull out to make citation and citation strategy easier. And that is what I want to share with you today. Today, we'll be talking about Zotero. Zotero is an awesome free software that you can utilize to make your citations easier. You're really going to step up your research game with this. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about what even is Zotero. Zotero is actually a citation management software. And what this does is it allows you to keep all of your resources in one place in the program, Zotero. It allows you also to, draw connections and see connections between the different resources you have for your project, as well as create accurate citations for your bibliography and in-text citations. So to kind of go into more detail, I'm going to walk through Zotero. If you click on that link that I put in the chat, in fact, I'll put it back in the chat one more time in case anyone popped on after I had already done that here. But if you click on that link, there is a direct link onto download Zotero as well as these slides. So if you want to go back and find this information later, again, of course you can. Here are my favorite things about Zotero. The first one is it helps keep track of resources. Once you start getting into research projects where you're using 5, 10, 15, 20 plus sources, it can be a lot to keep track of, right? How do you organize all of your resources? I think a lot of times if you ask your faculty members, students, they might have said, oh, well, we had paper copies and we'd organize them into file folders, we'd write notes on them, and we'd, staple them together or paper clip them together, and we'd have these physical copies that you'd lug around, right? And if you ask some of your more junior faculty members, they might say, oh, we would go through the periodicals in the library, we would bookmark them and photocopy them and things like that. But these days, almost everything that you utilize is likely online, right? A lot of those resources you're going to get from the library databases are going to be completely virtual. So how do you keep track of them? Zotero offers a really great solution for that. This will really allow you to go through and make sure you have all of your resources organized. And then you can also draw connections between each of those resources directly in Zotero. And this is going to be an excellent way to not only keep everything straight that you want to use. Once you have a source, you can just drop it into Zotero, but then also show how these sources are related. When you begin to write an annotated bibliography or a literature review, we've talked about both of those things in previous How To Tuesday episodes. So if you have questions about those, go back to our archive and review what a literature review is or an annotated bibliography is. But Zotero has in-system ways of showing those connections and starting to think critically about these resources. And that's going to be awesome for when you go in afterwards and start writing your annotated bibliography or your literature review. The really amazing thing also about Zotero is it makes our citations easier. You can directly export and integrate into Microsoft Word and Google Docs. There's a plugin that you can click, and I'll show you all of that for Microsoft Word, but you can also do it via Google Docs. And I have, again, resources in that file folder that will show you exactly how to get that set up on your own device. And of course, if you have questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me. But this Zotero program really seamlessly integrates with Microsoft Word and Google Docs and allows you to just put in all of your citations with a click of a button. It does bibliographies and in-text citations. And I think that's really valuable because it can be really difficult, especially if you were an English major and you're taking a psychology class and you're used to MLA. You've done MLA your whole academic career, but in your psychology class, they use APA. That can be really confusing and overwhelming. So you can seamlessly change between different citation styles using Zotero. It will reformat all of your citations and all of your in-text citations and help you reformat that bibliography to be appropriate to the type of citation style that you'll be using. And the best part is they have so many citation styles. They have American Sociological Association, ASA. That's a pretty uncommon citation style unless you're in the sociology discipline, right? They have Chicago style, they have Harvard style. So there's so many different styles, and you can use any of them. And my favorite part about Zotero is that it's free. Completely free. They don't have any kind of subscription model. You can do all of the features for free. And I think that that is the best part about it. There are some other citation management softwares, but a lot of them operate on subscription basis. You can only have certain number of resources or certain number of exports. Zotero is free to use. It's not the prettiest, but it is free, and it really will help you if you buy into it and you start dumping all of your resources into Zotero. Okay, so I'm going to just take it off screen share for just one moment. I'm going to open up Zotero on my own device here so that I can kind of give you guys a walkthrough of what this will look like as you begin to utilize it. So give me just one moment here. Awesome. So when you start thinking about the resources that you're going to use, you absolutely should be looking on our library databases because we have, again, so many free resources for you to utilize. So as you begin to think about your research question, it's important to think about how can the library provide resources for you? And I'm going to show you how that will work here in just one moment. But if you have any questions about how to find resources from the library databases, again, do not hesitate to reach out to me or to my team. We have librarians at the ready 24/7 who can help you find resources related to your topic. I'm not going to cover that today since we only have a few minutes together. I'm only going to cover how to put resources into Zotero. So if you need more help with that, contact us and we can get in touch with you. All right, I'm going to reshare my screen here and we can take a look at it. So I am going to show us an example of Zotero. Let me move this guy out of the way. So this is what Zotero looks like over here on the left-hand side, okay? So you can see I have two resources in here, two different articles. And you can kind of see once you've uploaded articles or resources into Zotero, there are auto-generated information that they pull from the PDF or from the resource. So you can see that Zotero automatically generated that this is a journal article, that this is the title, these are the authors, and then it pulls the abstract as well as additional information like where it's published. So you can see all of that information in here. And again, the nice thing I like about Zotero is it organizes all of your resources. And if I wanted to read this article right now, all I have to do is click on the article and it will open in Zotero. Again, I like this because I don't have to search through my downloads folder and find all the articles and open them one by one. They're all listed here in Zotero and organized for you. You can also annotate directly here in Zotero. So if I wanted to highlight something, I can highlight it. If I wanted to create a note, right, I can change the color. I can add a note here or a text box and say, this is what I think about this, right? Very insightful, right? So there's lots of different ways that you can annotate and work with the document directly in Zotero, which is a huge strength of this program. To go back to our library, you can see here that it's just these tabs up at the top. So you can see I have a library with several different folders. I personally use this for my own research. That's how much I believe in Zotero. I use it for my own research. I use it all the time. I work with many different classes in using it, and I really believe in it. But the nice thing about it is you can keep all of your work really well organized here. So you can see I have all of these different folders for different projects I'm working on. This class, I did a sociology class, and I had a little folder for it. Another sociology class here that has all of these resources has its own little folder. And then I've just made a folder for us under Zotero Workshop so I could show you guys this. But again, this is a great way to organize your resources. And additionally, if you're doing a topic that's somewhat related to something in the past, again, you don't have to search through endless amounts of documents or downloads and try and find a resource that you used in the past and like. You can go back to your Zotero library and say, oh, I really liked that resource. I want to use it and talk about it in this context. So you can pull it from one folder to another. It's all centralized and it's all located right there. Another thing that I really like about these resources, once they're loaded into Zotero, is you can actually create some information here as well. So you can go over here where it says info, you can go over to notes and add notes. So I could add, I think this article speaks to this part of my topic, right? And these notes will exist underneath this resource so that you can read it, analyze it, critically engage with this resource, and then come back to it another time. And that will be able to assist you as you do your research and as you begin to explore what an annotated bibliography or a literature review might look like for your research topic. I can also go back to this entry and go to tags. Something that's really cool about Zotero is you can tag your articles with different things. So this one has to do with COVID-19. So maybe I want to add a tag here that talks about COVID-19, right? Maybe I want to add another tag and say this has to do with social media. And I want to add that one to this one as well. This one also has to do with social media, right? And as I'm typing here, you can see all the other different tags that I already imported into other projects, but that one now has social media. So if I go over here on the left-hand side where there's all of our folders, if I go all the way down here, you can see these are my different tags for this folder. So I could click on COVID-19 and see only the resources that are tagged with COVID-19. I could also click on social media, right? And only see those tags. So it's a really great way of, going through and exploring how these resources interact with each other. And then finally, the last thing I really like is this related tab. So I could say that this resource is related to this one. So you can show the connection between them, right? And you get to make that up. You get to say, this one is related to this one, and here's why. Maybe they have similar authors, or maybe that resource talked about this resource in their literature review, so they're related. This is, again, going to help you when you think about your literature review and when you're looking at how do these sources talk to each other? How do they interact? And how are they all contributing to the scholarly conversation? All of that is really, really important when you're beginning to think about how these resources are in conversation with each other. And Zotero makes that so easy. And that's why I love it. Okay, so you've seen kind of some of the strengths and some of the things that the Zotero can do once you have resources already in here. But let's say that I want to add this resource, exploring the potentially positive interaction between social media and mental health, right? This is what I'm interested in learning more about. So what I need to do, I found this resource through the library database, right? I pulled it up. Now I just need to download it. So I can use these download buttons right here. And I've actually already downloaded it into this folder. And the best thing about Zotero is all I have to do to upload this document into Zotero is click and drag it in there. This is going to then have Zotero go ahead and read through the resource and pull information. You can see it just pulled all of the information about the resource. It renamed it from, I had named it as source 3 when I downloaded it, but it renamed it in Zotero with its actual name. It pulled the abstract, it pulled the authors and the publication information. And again, I can go through now and add notes or tags, etc. to this resource. So I have 3 resources in here. Again, it's so easy to add things, but if you were looking for a book, let's say you have a print book that you want to add to Zotero just so that you can add the citations, you're not going to add the actual article, but you want it there. All you have to do is go to this plus button, and there are so many different resource types that you can also add manually. So if I had a book or a book selection or a journal article and I wanted to add it myself, I could do that. And there's this magic wand plus button where you can actually just add in the ISBN of a book. You can find that on the first page of a book, on the inside of the first page. You can just type in that ISBN and it will find a book for you. And again, upload all of that information into Zotero so that you can find the title, a brief description, where it was published. And all of this publication information is really important because that's how it's going to pull into your bibliography and your in-text citations. So it is really important that we have all of that publication information ready to go for when you begin to do citations. So that is how we do and utilize our Zotero program. Again, this is free to download. It is easy to get started. All you have to do is start adding in resources to your library, and then you can go ahead and start playing with it. All right, so I'm actually going to pull up a resource that I have played with today. Let's say that I wrote this essay about effects of social media on mental health, and I'm going to pull it over here to the side so we can also see our Zotero window as well. So with this, I have this essay here, and I want to start adding in some in-text citations. My favorite thing about Zotero is the way that it integrates with both Microsoft Word and Google Docs. You can do the same thing on both. Again, there's instructions on that folder that I gave you guys a link to. You will get a link to that folder, and you will also get a link to this recording tomorrow afternoon. So don't fear if you haven't grabbed that link yet, or if you forget to before we hang up today. That will all be sent out to you. So don't worry about that. But I want to go ahead and start putting in information and start putting my sources into this sample essay, right? I want to write about the effects of social media and mental health. And I've noted here source 1, source 2, source 3, and then source 1 and 3 of where I have, used citations or used information from citations. So all I need to do is go in here and add in some in-text citations. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to erase these placeholders. And all I have to do is go up here to the top of my Microsoft Word where it has home, and you would change the font and things like that. And I'm going to go down to Zotero. My window is small, so it has it under these 2 carets, but usually it'd be all across the top. So if I go to the window that says Zotero, you'll see I have 2 different options here. Add or edit bibliography, and then add or edit citation. What I want to do is citation, because again, I'm doing that in-text citation, not the bibliography yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do add/edit citation. And it's going to load here. And it's going to pull up, I'm going to bring this over to this side. It pulls up a window and it's asking me which citation style do I want to use. So I'm going to use APA today, but I did want to scroll through here and show you guys there is tons of different resources and different citation styles. So if you're MLA or if you use, Harvard or if you use ASA, all of this is available here for you. So I'm going to press OK here. And then, again, it's loading here. It's going to pull up this red Zotero bar, okay? So now all I have to do is start searching for these resources. I can search by title. So I could do the effect of mobile social media. Oh, sorry, I put effective. The effect of mobile social media. And you can see it is here under my library, or I could search for the author. I know that this one is Lou, and you can see here, it pulls it up as well. So either way, you could do the title or the author. And it's pulled that citation for me. So all I have to do is press enter, and you can see it's added that citation into my Word document. Now I'm going to look for source 2. So again, I'm going to go to add/edit citation. It's going to pull this red ribbon for me. I'm going to do O'Reilly. Oops. There we go. I'm going to add that in. Oops, that was the wrong one. And we're going to go to source 3 and add this one as well. Perfect. And then you can also actually add in more than one source if you're referencing more than one. So I'm going to go into add/edit citation one more time. I'm going to search for Lou and Ma because I am referencing that one. But I'm also going to search for other citation that's called exploring the impacts or the potentially positive interaction here. And I'm going to press enter, and you'll see that it will put both of those citations in there together like that. And then when you're all done adding in those in-text citations, what you can do is go down to your references page and then go to add/edit bibliography. And it will add in all of our citations, like a magic button right there. And I really love this because what it did is it didn't just pull all of my citations from the folder. It looked and saw which citations I used as in-text citations and pulled them for our references page. So that's kind of an overview of how Zotero integrates with Microsoft Word, how we can utilize it, and how we can show the connection between different resources right there in the Zotero window. I really, really love Zotero because it keeps everything together, all of my notes, every single resource, every aspect of my research is all here together, including all of my past research as well. And I love how it seamlessly integrates that I don't have to come up with my in-text citations. All I have to do is make sure I'm citing correctly and that I'm keeping track of where I'm getting information to ensure academic integrity. It takes all of the guesswork out of citations, and all you have to do is go through and click a few buttons. This is a really awesome software, and again, it's free. So I would totally recommend all of you to go through and at least give Zotero a try. If you don't like it after a few times, that's okay, but try and utilize this in your next research project because it will give you so much assistance as you begin to do research, especially as you get into your higher level research classes and you have more sources to keep track of and show relationships. So I'm going to take a pause here, and I would love to hear any questions that you guys have. You can feel free to unmute or even just use the chat. Either way is great. I'm happy to hear your questions now. If there are any. I'll give everyone a second.
Hi,
Camille,
Camille. Nope, sorry, go ahead.
Camille, I do have a question. I noticed on the APA, and I'm not sure how familiar you're going to be with that one, is it did
Sure.
in text really well. And I cannot say the other word, it's the paragraph one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Will it pick up that one? Because I noticed, like I said, it did all the in-text one just fine, but will it do the, I thought I saw some potential for, however you say the other word, because I'm doing a cheat sheet for my students right now, and that's why I was wondering if it could make the distinction.
Between what? I'm sorry, I'm not quite following what you.
Okay, if usually the other one is it's for the end of a paragraph, and I apologize, I can't pronounce it.
Oh,
But usually para there something. But if you have a paragraph at the end, you can put it. But the distinction is if it's at the end of a paragraph, you do the author, comma, the date is in parentheses. If you do in text narrative, it's the whole thing's in paragraph, in parentheses.
Yeah,
that's why I was wondering.
I am actually unfamiliar with that citation nuance, so I'm not quite sure, but Zotero does have additional features that I didn't talk about here. So let me check on that and I'll get back to you, okay?
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Hi, Camille, this is Jerry. And I was wondering, on the Zotero, on the left side, you have those folders. And what I was wondering is how you organize those folders is up to you, right? You can do it by project or any way. It's really up to you. Okay.
Yeah. I personally do it by project. So you could see I have some of my own research for Park where I conduct research, and then some examples of like classes I've done. You could also actually do multiple libraries. So if you wanted to do different libraries for different projects and then organize even further by like sub-subject. So if you are doing social media and mental health, that could be a huge library. And then you could do like a folder about positives, a folder about negatives, a folder about Twitter or Instagram, and get more specific. But I would recommend putting all of your resources for a project in one folder, because I think it makes it a little bit easier to draw those connections. But really, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do is great.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I see Nana in the chat asked, how do you add the extension? And this is my favorite part. It's so easy. All you have to do is download Zotero. It will automatically add the extension to Microsoft Word if you have Microsoft Word installed. And all Park students, faculty, staff, everyone get access to Microsoft Office. And in that link in the chat, there is a link to a page that says resources, and I linked there how to get Microsoft Office from Parks IT website if you don't have it, because all employees, all students do get a free license to Microsoft Word. So if you don't have Microsoft Word, you can get it. If you want to add it to Google Docs, there is also a link on there on how to add that Google Doc extension. Any other questions I can answer for folks?
Well, Camille.
Yeah.
I've been a Park employee for many years, but I don't use Park Microsoft Word.
Oh.
Because, well, is that what my laptop has on it? I guess it does. I use Microsoft Word, obviously. But is that where I can find Zotero?
No. So Zotero is an actual software that you have to download. The link is in the chat. It's free software. You have to download it. And once you download Zotero, it will also download for the Microsoft Word plugin and automatically do it for you. So all you have to do is download Zotero.
So I go to Drive Google. I have to go
Yeah.
through Google.
And there is a link in there that says, you know, How to Tuesday, Citations Made Easy. If you go to the resources page, there's links to how to get Zotero and instructions on downloading it and all of that.
Okay.
And if you need help, email me, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Are there any other questions that anyone has? I know we're at 4:31, so I don't want to keep everyone over too long, but I'm happy to answer any other questions about Zotero. Awesome. Well, all of my contact information is on here. Thank you all so much for joining us for How To Tuesday. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that you will all give it Zotero a try, because I have found it to be really fruitful, and a lot of the students that I recommend use this have really come back with glowing reviews about how much it's helped them and streamlined their research. If you are struggling with any part of this process, downloading Zotero, getting it all set up, please do not hesitate to schedule an appointment with me or my teammates, or give me an email or a call. I'm always happy to help, no matter what, if you're a student or if you're staff or faculty, I'm happy to help. And I hope that you will reach out to me for any questions you have. Again, this is How To Tuesday. We do this once a month. Next month, we will actually be doing how to read a journal article. So if you are interested in that, that's a little sneak peek. You can sign up on our website, library.park.edu, and we would be glad to see you again next month on how to read a journal article with a very special guest from the science department. I'll leave you guys on a cliffhanger, so you'll have to find out. You'll have to come to How To Tuesday next month to find out who that special guest will be. But thank you all so much. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, and thank you all for joining me. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.